Hello, everyone. All right, we're going to be picking up a fort. I'm skipping a little bit of the early stuff here because I don't know what happened, but apparently I wandered off from the keyboard and just left the screen running, I guess. I don't remember doing that. I remember playing this and recording it all in one go. Anyway, this is my longest running fort in RimWorld. I had someone ask me if I could make it to the end game, and I honestly did come close. I am not a huge beating the game kind of person. Honestly, I lose interest long before that. I know that sounds bad, but it's true. Once you get to a certain point, once you pass the real obstacles, the game just loses its, its edge. And it just kind of becomes, I'm going to plug through it. And I'm looking at that spot right there, and I'm guessing I'm fortifying it. And I honestly did not like it the first time I looked at it, and I still don't like it, and yeah. But I didn't want to restart. I didn't want to, game it up. I didn't want to trick it out or anything. I just wanted to play a straight-up game. I don't think I've mentioned it. Sorry, I'm a little confused because the whole organizational side here got a little bit wonky. I am looking at a custom start here where I didn't bring any of the, nicer stuff. I brought food rations and medicine, and that's more or less it. See, was that heel root? I think that was a heel root bush. But also just the berry bushes. Yeah. I have found that this playstyle is very powerful. I love the tribal start, and if you're modding the game, like the tribal start with what is that called? Tech blocks? I think it's called tech blocks. It allows you to upgrade your tech level, and so you don't have to keep plugging away at the really low research levels. This is important when you play as a character in this game because the tribal's only problem is their gameplay just stretches out forever. I mean, man, see, look at that. That is just such a huge chunk of land. Really don't like it. Really don't like it at all. It's an awful starting location. But anyway, if you're not doing the mods and you start as the tribals, honestly, you get punished because the tech just gets so grueling to get. I have had a tribal game get to the end game. I had a tribal force, and they had... Actually, you see me shooting the bugs. That's the tribal fort. There's a short video of that out. And, that one I got to... what is that thing called? The research bench. The high-tech research benches upgrade thing. I don't know what to call that. The thing you use to upgrade the research bench. There we go. That works. That's a statement. That is a complete statement. It has a beginning. It has an end. It's a statement. Okay. That thing. I got to there, and the fort fell apart. Okay, so the first thing you need to do in this game is obviously set up, wait for it, a building. Believe it or not, building a room for your storage is important, but honestly, building buildings for the sake of building buildings is a waste. So I'm building bedrooms, and I built these as 5x5s because at the time I was thinking I would like bigger bedrooms because I was going for a minimalist fort, but honestly, where's that 6? That's a 6x6. Oh, these rooms are huge. Yeah, that's huge. It's so not worth it. It is so not worth it. I do counter it by not putting light sources in the rooms, though. So it kind of balances. But it's not worth it. It's easier to just put a freaking torch in the room than it is to build the ginormous rooms. I am okay with the 3x3 room. It's a little small, You can do like a 3x4, and it works a lot better. It still has issues. I have yet to figure out an exact number I'm really happy with. Like a 6x6 is probably about the right kind of number if you want like a bedroom for a couple. But if you're like just looking for bedrooms to have bedrooms to have bedrooms, if that makes any sense, I don't think it does, then honestly, like building a 6x6 is just a tremendous waste of resources, and it is so not worth it. Here they plow away and build the buildings real fast, and it all comes together really smooth. I'm growing a field of crops. This one is not actually my traditional, nor is it my recommended style for crop growing. I have actually come to love building a small grid of crops rather than a big, huge one. That way you can control how many things is planted in relatively this right time scale, if that makes any sense. And you'll see that as the video progresses into the other forts. That will be a while. There is a lot of gameplay footage. I am tempted to speed it up. I was thinking about speeding it up, guys. I really was. But I realized from an organizational perspective, a timing perspective, I just did not plan this out very well. I really thought I might have the editor help me with this. Honestly, though, these bigger videos just don't give me any visibility from like my perspective. The short videos are just way more powerful, so honestly, it's better use of my time to give it to the developer. I do love this workshop design, by the way. On another note, this workshop design, I did not plan it out, like seriously, but you will see the layout, and holy crap, it is a solid layout. If you want like a high density, able to produce a bleep ton of one material, this baby is your bad boy. Seriously. You'll see it here. I think it's in this video, because I set up the workshop pretty fast. Obviously, you want a workshop pretty fast. I know it's radical. I know. See, I'm already just like, okay, let's plop in some beds real fast. Doing the barracks. Yeah, I'm on the. I don't like this. I really don't like this. The barracks is just a resource thing that honestly just kind of messes things up. It's easier to just go ahead and build a bunch of small rooms really fast and focus on getting the rooms done by the end of the day, in my opinion. See, these big, huge structure areas, they work, but, man, they come with a lot of problems. A lot of problems. We'll deal with that, in another time. All right. Anyway, I totally lost my focus there. I had to go away from the computer for a minute because of other things, and now I have no idea what I was saying. I just went back, and I don't know if you've ever done that. You actually like check and go back and make sure you're on the right track and you know what you're doing, and then you completely draw a blank, and yeah, that's me right now. Anyway, this is my fort. It's going well. It's exciting. I really did actually want the editor to take a look at it, and when he didn't, I really wanted to take a swing at it myself. I honestly love the idea of setting this thing up with a little bit of editing, not like super ultra heavy editing, just, touching up here, touching it up there, trimming out a piece here, trimming out a piece there. But I already know my knowledge of editing is very far from being able to do that in a reasonable time frame. And I really do just want to get this video done. I really want to just, get a little bit of buffer between me and the gaming channel here, because I fell back behind. Totally worth it, by the way. Not complaining. just trying to keep on track here and not lose my scheduling, because that actually matters to me quite a bit. I think that's fair. Anyway, this region is awful. I'm looking at it and I'm just like, man, I am so surprised I actually stuck through with this area. The size of it, the geography involved, yada yada yada. It is just all really not good. See, that just reminded me of that whole like dealing with like skills. It's probably my biggest complaint about RimWorld, to be honest. The game. I like the quality mechanic, and it's almost as good as Dwarf Fortress, but it's not as good as Dwarf Fortress at all. Not even close. And there is really no, like, oh, we can adjust it here, or we can move this here, or anything. I mean, it's just, it wants to be Dwarf Fortress. It is not Dwarf Fortress. Yeah. Again, if you had the work order mechanic, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dwarf Fortress there. If you have the work order mechanic, it makes it much, much more convenient because then you can actually specify. There's a mod for that, but it is really clunky. Build better quality, I think that's what it's called. But it is really clunky, and its interface is hardly what I would consider to be streamlined. And real fast, I'm going to point out, if you guys didn't notice, those people are going around like sweeping outside the houses. Super nightmare, and it is actually a huge waste of resources. It might be tempting to think that stuff isn't a huge waste, but it really is. We'll get to that. Yeah, here. I think I have the workshop set up here. Oh, I love this setup. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. Anyway, turning off the people's like home area around certain things is absolutely a must. I don't know how much time or energy whoever's listening to this video, has put into this game's, build this, set up that. If you have never done much, then you might be looking at it and going, oh, I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I just lost my line of thought, and I'm not going back because the way I've got this set up is kind of awkward. See that fueled stove? I'm going to pause here for a minute and just emphasize something. I'm using that fueled stove for the rest of this fort. I will never use an electric stove. I'm not actually joking. Like, that's not me being glib or silly or anything. I actually never use the electric stove. It has zero benefit to your fort. Absolutely no value whatsoever. It is just a huge, tremendous resource hog that honestly just consumes way too many resources. Here I set up the workbenches. Most of the workbenches at the beginning of the game are 3x1. And I noticed very quickly you can set up, look at that bad boy. Look at that. You can get 9 workbenches. 9 workbenches. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Mapping this out. Can't be. No, it can. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, look how much stuff you can fit into this one tiny little room. That is right. That is just gorgeous. If you ever need a high-efficiency workshop, this is your bad boy. You can organize those shelves to take on stuff, dump stuff, move things quickly, and you get a really streamlined process really fast. But anyway, I am a huge fan. Okay, let's go through this whole, I jokingly made comments about how if you're running a fort, you really want to avoid having power generating. And here I'm even starting without rifles. I don't know if you've noticed, I have no weapons. I actually like that from the Naked Brutality Survivor build. I haven't done anything on Naked Brutality, but why I like the fueled stove over the campfire is a huge, long story. For a very long time, I loved the campfire more. But the campfire burns continuously. It does not have like a start-stop point. And that kind of loses it out in the end. Setting it up so that you have a forever task for meat and a limited task for vegetables is useful because meat rots quickly. So I often set it up like that right there. And then you also want, a 4x1x4 so that you don't waste time and efficiency. Anyway, see, I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, man, I am loving this setup. That is just a really tight setup. Oh, that's right. That's my kitchen. Or my dining room. It's gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, it's a masterpiece right there. Tempted to use stools, but I use chairs instead. I'm a crazy person. I don't know if there's a huge difference. This is an archery mod, a miscellaneous training mod. I don't remember its name. I love it. It is fantastic. If you have never used it, it allows your characters to gain a little bit of shooting ability while they are, doing the horseshoe ring game thing, which makes sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to anyone else, but as your skills drop once you reach a certain point, having something to they can do like on a regular basis to boost their ability other than hunting animals, which drives me crazy. I have lost so many valuable people hunting animals. I can't stand it. I really cannot stand it. Like, my number one pisses me off faster than anything else. And I think we're almost to the point where I start doing the thing that caused me to give up on campfires here. We will see. But I discovered a little bit of a tidbit thing that is quite handy, and I think I'm going to do it. But apparently not yet. Man, that is just too much space. So you can fit your fort in a really tight space. You want your fort as compact as possible. Okay? This should be like RimWorld 101. I don't really necessarily recommend you build it underground because as I've played the game, I have learned that it increases your chances of getting insects and all that fun stuff. Wait, what? Oh. I was like, I didn't get attacked. The bear. Yeah, I'm getting rid of the bear. That thing is bugging me. I do not like animals near my forts at all. I hate animals. I actually had a huge animal thing in this. I expended a crap ton of energy raising animals, and I so regret it. 100% I regret it. It was not worth it at all. No. Oh, I must have started with bows. I like the great bow. It is probably one of my favorite weapons in the game. It's maybe crazy to most people, but it is simple. It is easy to get. It has great accuracy, great range. It's reliable. The damage isn't anything to write home to mom about, but it is also not so bad that you regret using it. That is a fair statement. That is a very fair statement. Honestly, I love the great bow. Honest. I know this is kind of crazy because, everyone's just going to be like, oh, if you build an electric bench, it's the exact same as the non-electric bench. There is zero reason to build the non-electric bench. They both use the same mechanics. If the electricity is off, they can sew with the electric stuff without the electricity. It's just the same speed as the hand tailoring bench. So there is absolutely no upshot to the hand tailoring bench. I do not know why you would use the hand tailoring bench ever. Ooh, what, was that something? I didn't see what that was. It was red. I know that. Anyway. Oops, I got a wife. Yes. Changing the bed. Yeah. Anyway, I thought I did the floor at this point. Anyway, that's actually what I used. That's what changed me from using the campfire to the non-campfire. I found out that the concrete... See, okay, it's a little confusing to me still. The concrete floor is clean but ugly. The paved floor is clean and neutral. I like the clean, neutral one. The ugly floor can be offset by art, but I absolutely hate bringing an artist to my fort. Although now that I've had a later game fort, I understand some of those resources could make useful market selling to other people thing. I had so many problems with the caravan on this map. It is just not funny. I mean, it's really not funny. The game did not like me building my fort the way I built it, and it did not like me having my animals where I had them in my fort. See, work speed 50%, no power. It's the exact same as the tailoring bench. I have no idea why you would do it, the regular tailoring bench. Now I'm thinking about the research bench. And I'm like, crap. That's not a 3x1. That's a 3x2. And it'll mess up my beautiful, beautiful room. I don't know why I have the nutrient paste dispenser. I'm going to throw this out here real fast. See, yeah, I'm actually looking at it. I'm like, why is the nutrient paste dispenser researched already? I did not pick that. I do not know why it is enabled, why it is there. I absolutely hate the nutrient paste. I absolutely hate it. It is one of the most useless things in the game, in my opinion. I understand there's a benefit, like if you have like one of the DLCs, you can make it so it doesn't have the negative multiplier, and you can also have cannibals. And if you have cannibals, they get a positive multiplier, so you could actually get like a really reliable, consistent supply of food that keeps your people relatively happy without having a cook, which is amazing. Unfortunately, I don't have the DLC, and, well, that's it. Actually, I don't have the DLC. There is no other statement there. I put the research bench in the dining room. I honestly have no qualm about doing this. I don't know if it really benefits things, hurts things. I really don't care. Yep, that's it. I've never built medicine. I am sitting here, and I'm like, I know you just need that weird special water stuff you can get from the merchants. And in theory, that's pretty easy to get. Honestly, I've had a huge stockpile of it in games. I've just never bothered to build medicine. Like, the herbal medicine kicks butt, like, so amazingly. I don't know why, when, where, how anyone would ever have a problem with the herbal medicine being not good enough. Man, if you have a doctor with skill over, 8? Honestly, I think 8. 8's enough. I think if you have a doctor with skill of 8, they can cure almost anything. The only thing they can't do is the surgery, the body modification stuff. That's it. That is hardly a reason to require bringing a complicated construction chain into your fort. I don't know. I'm sure the regular medicine is a lot better, but it doesn't expire. It doesn't go bad, and either of them. And it's like if you're sick, I honestly don't like using the regular medicine. It's not that beneficial. Oh yeah, mad squirrel. You always get a mad animal, a mad rodent at the beginning of the game. The thing I really did not do in this fort, and I normally do it, is traps. Just to be clear, normally I build a crap ton of traps. I'm a bit of a trapophile. They are a great resource to pour energy into. I love them. Traps have absolutely no negative trait whatsoever. They do not bring anything bad to the game. They make your life easier. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but it's like a single trap will basically, if it hits someone and they are not... we'll get to it. If I could zoom out and control the camera right now, this would be fantastic. I can't. But if you had a trap, and on this map, there's this spot up to the top right of this screen. It's a little corner area. A lot of the people who attacked my fort, they just like hanging out there before they attack my fort. Honestly, you should just put some traps down there. It's not a huge thing. You just plop down some traps outside your fort, way out in the boonies. The AI is really weird about doors. I am pretty sure I'm never going to build a big enclosure like I did with this fort ever again. I'm pretty sure it was actually a bad design choice. Checking the wife. Who goes into the bed? Actually, interestingly enough, throughout this entire fort, these three have a love triangle. If I remember right. It's Harper, Ryder, and Chase. Yeah, I think it is. I think they have a love triangle. Harper is always flirting with Ryder, even though Ryder's married to Chase. And Ryder is always dumping him, and he's always depressed through the entire fort. I think that's right. Where's that Johnson? Johnson's not in the fort yet. That's the only other pawn that I add to this fort. It is a minimalist fort. I did this because I'm very confident the larger you build your fort, the more you draw certain things. And once you reach a certain point, and honestly, I don't know if it's power itself, electricity power, but it's either power, electricity, or the research that goes into it. It's a toss-up which one it is. I think it's probably the research. I don't know for sure, honestly. But at a certain point, you will hit this point, and the game will hit you with harder attacks, just because you either get the electricity or the research into the high-tech bench. I don't know which one it is. I really don't. It's not a priority. It's not something I care about, honestly. As long as you avoid pushing that stuff too heavy, you've basically got as much time, as long as you want, to just kind of dilly-dally around. I don't have the numbers. I can't prove it. I can't remember. I really don't care. Holy crap, 17? Wow. Huh. I didn't know their planting was 17. That dropped. It didn't stay that high. I'm very confident of that. Huh. I wish there was a use for plant that high. But anyway, that's all right. Yeah. I'm on one of the highest difficulties. As you watch this fort, you will notice nothing happens for a very long time. And then around the point where I get the research into the high-tech bench and the power, I do both at the same time, the harder raids start attacking. As long as you keep your resources to a minimum, as long as you don't have that many people, your fort will pretty much go under the radar 1,000%. So what you want to do is you want to build it so you can have about 13 people, because anything higher than 13 people basically pisses the game off. Anything under 13 people theoretically doesn't piss the game off, and anything under a certain number, I think it's 8, the game actually will actively try to help get your colony a little bit bigger. I don't remember really well. I wasn't paying much attention to it. I just know as long as you don't add that many pawns to your fort, things run really smoothly. And this is that example. Because this is not the highest difficulty. I'm pretty sure it's the second one. Yeah, I don't remember for sure. I'm building the patchwork leather. The patch leather? I don't remember what to call it. I'm building it. It's the only way to get what you want out of the animals. And we're going to be wrapping it up here, guys. I think in a minute we'll have other videos. I have the whole thing recorded. I'll just be going through it like this. If I get the time to tinker with it, I really don't think so. I have some really big stuff on the timetable, the plan, the organization. And if I get the time, I will happily sink it into making these videos a little more streamlined. I won't be changing this video any, because it's going to be live or updated, and I mean, why? So the other ones down the line, I will. And I think we're going to be wrapping it up any second now. We're going to let them finish the wall. A big one is actually the wall's health. I don't know if you guys know this, but their different rocks actually have different values. It surprised me. Honestly, I just assumed they were all rock. But granite is the best rock. Marble makes your rooms pretty. I know that. I love building my rooms out of marble now. I did not know it mattered. See, that's actually kind of a good example. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys, and put it on the next video.